Can y'all hear me? Oh, y'all can hear me? All right, good. Let me bring Freeze. Okay, cool. Let me bring Freeze back up. Hey, look, y'all. Man, we was able to go. Hey, that 4 hour roast another day, man. We was able to go 4 hours the other day, y'all. And then put us back down to a motherfucking hour, y'all. Fuck it, though. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Okay, I said Freeze unable to join. Yeah, this shit going by fast, y'all. All right, y'all. I think y'all better, if y'all want Freeze and Sin back, y'all better cross y'all fingers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better cross y'all fingers. Let me see. Try to invite Freeze again. Y'all want to hear some more? Y'all want to hear some more? You know what I'm saying, y'all? And like I say, and I know whose opinion y'all be valuing and respecting, and that's why I feel it's good because, like I say, you know, Freeze, I'm to the point where I'm like, you know, if if there was two choices, right, and one choice was, you know, the pimping could be pimping for the right, for the rest of his life or until he died, right, forever, right, or until he died. You could be pimping, with the ing active. You'll always have a whole, you know, smooth road. Might not even be too many difficulties in the path, right? So if the game promised you, if the game promised to keep you pimping with the ing, but with that, we couldn't say what it was. We already know what's in it. Hey, Freeze. Or, hey, what's your name? What's your name? Oh, I'm Freeze. Oh, Freeze, what you do? Oh, man, I just do my thing, man. Just, you know. However, your actions, right, are showing what it is. You know, so whoever know what it is, know what it is. But what I'm saying, Freeze, is with these law, okay, the speed limit, okay, we can be driving 80 miles an hour, right, in the BMW, and you know, and it might feel like we only going 55, 60. And in our brand, we like, man, I ain't even really speed. I need to change these laws anyway. I need to make this shit faster, okay? But the law, right, the law, when the highway patrol gets behind us and pull us over for speeding, going over 65, they don't care what we thought because they're not recognizing this what we thought as it, you know, they're recognizing what they. So when it even becomes to that, Freeze, what I'm saying is within our own community, we know what it is. We know what it ain't without having to say anything. So with that being said, and also Freezer goes with this too, because the laws changed, then for sure that changes the game. So with the laws changing, by putting the pimping under that umbrella, then wouldn't it be smart for us to make the adjustments we need to make in order to keep going? And if one of those adjustments had to be remove your label, quote unquote, or not remove it, however, don't display, you know what I'm saying? Like just basically forget the label, forget having the title, the man who you are, or the position what it is, and you could continue going. Doesn't that seem, and I'm really speaking for the new people trying to come in the game thinking they want to do this, Freeze. It's like, doesn't that seem the most logical, safest way? Or is it, and so heavy said they wear the crown, man? You said, you know what come with this shit? Or is that slick talk? Or is that ignorance? Or is that
Well,
well, if you do better, you do better?
right. Nah, I get what you're saying. See, um, I mean, I don't like me myself. I don't concern myself with convincing squares that I am what I am, you know, or that they should accept what I am, you know. So when I represent who and what I am, it's not for that purpose. So but it's when you speak of being careful and safety pertaining to the law, you know, again, like I said, the way I see it is, you know, it's illegal to be a black man in America, you know, and uh, the design of America is not meant for us to thrive and be highly successful. You know, it's meant for them, for, you know, the powers to be that be, to keep us under their thumb. So you know, again, I use Bill Cosby as an example before the live just got cut off, right? That's somebody, you know, whose resume and track record was, you know, as good as it gets, you know, everything you would want it to be. And yet and still he was sent to the penitentiary. Meanwhile, you have guys who've been in the game, who've been in the pimp game for 20, 30, 40 years, who've never been to prison. You know what I mean? You got some guys that have done interviews with different platforms, whether it's Soft White Underbelly or whatever the case may be, and been in documentaries and stuff like that, and they've never been to prison for what they put on display before the world. So with that in mind, when you talk about being careful and with the young people getting into the game should be mindful of and be careful of, it's not a matter of being careful what you claim and what you represent. It's a matter of being careful with who you involve yourself with and what you involve yourself with. Because again, using Bill Cosby as an example, he whether or not what they convicted him of is accurate, one thing for sure is that, you know, he went down due to bad association. You know what I mean? And you know how he conducted himself with those associates. You know how he made himself vulnerable, basically. He made himself vulnerable by who he associated with and how he associated with them. You know, like for example, right? Like the opposite end of the spectrum is Justin Bieber. Of course, he's white, but you know, the thing that I'm about to mention is something that, you know, black celebrities should be doing. I don't know if it's still the case, but I know at one point in time, if somebody went to Justin Bieber's house in Calabasas, first of all, they couldn't go inside his house with a cell phone or a smart device. So if you got a cell phone, you got to leave it at the door, leave it in the car, whatever the case may be, right? And then also, you had to sign a waiver going into his house. Basically, you know, letting it be known that you agree to his terms, whatever his terms are to be in his house. You sign a waiver, basically letting it be known that you cool with everything that goes up in there, and it probably spells out details and things like that. But basically, you got to leave your smart devices at the door, and you got to sign this waiver to go into his joint, right? So that's just a smart precaution to protect himself, understanding the world that we're in, and understanding how, you know, you can be under attack in so many different ways, especially when you have a spotlight on yourself, like celebrities do and like the pimping do. You did.
Hold on,
So
bro. Let me just get this in.
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to sit up there and actually, yeah. So listen, man. If you guys actually possess the love that y'all profess to have, you know what I mean, for shows, man, go to YouTube. The man is at 418 subscribers. Go click on the subscribe button, that red button right there. And you also, hold on for a minute. You want to click on that bell. You don't want to just click on the subscribe. You want to click on the bell button. So whenever he goes post anything, you'll get a notification, all of that, right? You know what I mean? The thing for that is, I just want to say that you see how Shove is limited he can only put like 3 people on. Well, if you get him over 1,000 subscribers and you get him enough watch time hours, he'll be able to go live on YouTube and he'll be able to put 8 of you up, possibly even more, I think. But he'll be able to make money off the content that he is putting out there. And some of y'all pretty much know, without me saying what I'm saying, without me even speaking on that, you already know what I'm talking about. So he'll be able to profit off of being able to go live. Be a blessing to the brother. Go to YouTube, click on the subscribe and the bell button. Watch the videos. Give him enough watch time hours. So then he'll be able to go live. He'll be able to post content on other platforms. And man, when it's his time to shine, come, it'll be just like that. Because you guys was a blessing to him. Go ahead, Freeze. I'm done. I just want to shout out his page on YouTube, P Perspective. All y'all make sure y'all go click on the subscribe and bell button. You know what I mean, over there.
Thank you, Sin.
Right.
All right. Much
Right.
love.
But basically to sum up what I was saying, whether what you do is legal or illegal, it's imperative to be careful with whom you associate yourself with closely, and be careful about making yourself vulnerable to the wrong people. You did, because like I said, Bill Cosby went down because he made himself vulnerable to the wrong people. R. Kelly is locked up right now because he made himself vulnerable to the wrong people. And they giving him the RICO charge, something that, man, don't pertain to R&B or, sexuality or anything. You know what I mean? But it's just an example of how it's illegal to be black, a black man in particular, So, yeah, on the same token, it's a lot of pimps that we all know that have been locked up and are locked up right now because of who they made themselves vulnerable to. You dig? So yeah, it's definitely a good look to abide by the law as much as possible, or to whatever the case may be, don't expose yourself breaking the law. But more importantly, as a black man, it's all about not making yourself vulnerable to the wrong people, because you could go down regardless of what you do. You could be a minister or a pastor or in the church or whatever the case may be, and if you make yourself vulnerable to the wrong person, it'll be a wrap just for being black.
Y'all hear Freeze? I appreciate that, Freeze. Thank you. Now,
Oh, for
Sin,
sure.
everybody been waiting. Sin, I had the nerve to say this, Sin. Maybe we should retire the name. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant had to retire the 8 jersey. He came back with 24, like.
You crazy.
All right, let's talk about it. Okay.
Okay, well, let me say this. My brother did a very very good job, man, with that. And since we're talking about Juan, shout out to Juan. You know what I mean? I seen some of the comments that was made about Juan. And anybody that know me, man, I'm very protective when it comes to the youth. So of course I completely understood when he basically, did what he did with that guy the other day. That was really off of just the fact how Freeze fucked with the youth in the game. But on another note, I'm so protective of the youth that I wish Juan wouldn't have went on that platform. Yeah, we got different, views on that. I do want to put that out there. And not just Juan, not just singling him out. I wish none of the pimping had actually went on that platform. Because I've been saying that, you know, and it's not because I'm about to get to Show's question, but what I will say is, why not be a blessing to each other? Why not one of you guys start a platform that you're doing the interviews? Why y'all allowing the white man or a Jewish man or the other man or this man and that man to keep making millions off the culture? Mark over there making a big old bag. Vlad making a big old bag. You know, I thought we would have learned from Pimps Up, Hoes Down, American Pimp. I thought you guys said that you pimps. I thought you said you wanted to pimp. Why are you letting them other motherfuckers pimp on us? That breaks my heart to know that American Pimp made hundreds of millions of dollars. But all the pimps that you see in American Pimp only made $1,000 each. The only one that made he made 15,000 was Dre. And that wasn't really enough, but he made 15, everybody else made 1,000, but in reality, nobody made no money. Them motherfuckers sat up there and made hundreds of millions, you know what I mean, off the culture. I thought that we would have learned from that, but we still haven't. We still going on the other people's platform, promoting them and helping them get to millions of subs and things like that. Man, you could have told that testimony. You could have gave that game, you know what I mean, on the black man's platform. That's all I'm saying. You know, and it don't just go for the pimping. That just go for really all of us. The cripping, the blood, and the, you know what I mean, GDs, BD, niggas that's selling CDs and DVDs, man. All the PIMPs. Black people, man. Support your own. Be a blessing to your own. You know? Now, as far as the youth being on a platform, I never, if you pay attention to my platform, when have you ever seen me do a video with a young P? I always took those videos when a young P used to jump on the IG lives and shit. You would notice Sin always took that down. And that's why you never see my name or hear my name come up and snitch and shit. You never hear my name say, oh yeah, they used one of Sinful the P's videos in court. Why? Because I'm not bringing young people on my platform. That's why. I know they got that energy. I know they charismatic and magnetic, but no. It's just like one of the P's, I ain't gonna say his name. He know who I'm talking about. But one time he had got at me. You know, he's big time now on IG. But it was a while ago, and he was, you know, saying, man, you know, put me on YouTube with you, man. You know what I mean? Let me get a chance. Let me shine. And I explained things to him, and he took it as me hindering him or an old nigga just being jealous of a young nigga that didn't want to see a young nigga shine. When in reality, I wanted you to maintain your liberty in society, and I ain't want you to be in a motherfucking correctional facility for an eternity, young dumbass nigga. See, the thing is this, you know, if you want a nigga to incriminate himself, all you gotta do is just put a camera in his face and just say action. You know, and you know, most of the youth, they don't know how to, how can I say, speak about the game without incriminating themselves. Now, from what I've seen, as far as with, you know, with Juan didn't say he didn't really, but see, this is the thing. He didn't have to. This is what people not understanding. He didn't have to say anything incriminating. Just the fact that it says pimp interview. Pimp interview. In other words, human trafficker interview. Human trafficker interview. Monster interview. Pedophile interview. Destroyer of women. Hater of women interviewer. That's how Square see things. You know, now, of course, with him being dressed well and speaking well and things like that, a lot of people liked Juan because he's a likable young man. You know what I mean? He's very likable. He's a very genuine individual. But because I don't want nothing to happen to him, and I damn sure wouldn't want if anything was to happen to him as far as a legal issue, I don't want them to be able to use. You see, when you're doing things for the present, you'd be like, man, this gonna help my rap career, or this gonna help my campaign. But see, when you fly as hell, when you a fly handsome pimp, charismatic and magnetic with knowledge and wisdom and magnetism, you ain't got to sit up there and get on the white man's platform and do that. But I understand, you know, like I said, my opinion ain't got no dominion over what y'all do. It's just my love for you, like a little bro. No, I wouldn't want him to do that, but it's already done. It is what it is. And not just using him as an example. I don't want none of y'all really going on soft white underbelly. Most of the so-called pimp interviews on that platform is trash. 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 It's only a few interviews on soft white underbelly that I was like, okay, that's cool. And I'm trying to think of, what's his name? P, you know who I'm talking about. What's his name?
Let's see. What's his name? Not Peanut. What's his name? Is that one of no Peanutty? Is that one?
P, I think it's Pete Nutty.
Yeah, P
P
Nutty
Nutty.
interview
Nutty.
was
I think
cool.
he had the Pirates hat on.
Yeah,
Pete
that's
Nutty
P Nutty.
interview, from what I seen, I'm talking about his shit was better than the veterans.
Right.
You know, he did very good. I don't care for that platform, but at the same time, his interview was cool. P Nutty had his interview, you know, represented cool, you know. But for the most part, even with a lot of them old niggas, trash. Trash. Throw it away. Throw the whole interview away. Throw the platform away. You know what I mean? It was just trash. And it's just my personal. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't just tell it, you know what I mean, like it is. It was trash. Now, what I will say is it has been a blessing to some. You know, we see what it did for Sharp, you know, and blessings to his endeavors. I hope he excels in anything he want to do. It was a blessing to Sharp, but for the most of you, what did it really do? You guys go on these platforms, you have no book to sell. You're not promoting your own channel. You haven't announced, you know, man, I got an album coming out and such and such, such and such. Most of you go on these platforms and they get hundreds of thousands of views, or might even get a million or millions of views out you. But how did you come up? How was it a blessing to you? Okay, everybody know you. You got some likes, you got some comments. But after it's said and done, the man is still reaping the benefits off of you coming on there. In other words, he's still checking it. And you just, you know, your little 2 seconds of fame is over with. It's just like with Vlad. We in the day of clout. Everybody's strung out on clout. Vlad is one of the coldest clout drug dealers. And when these rappers and these niggas get killed, what does Vlad do? He sits up there and reposts and keep reposting. And he gonna make money to the end of time off of them interviews. Like I said, why don't one of you create a platform where you're interviewing people in your lifestyle? That'll end up being more money than you trying to sit up there and squeeze water from a rock with that Boston baked bean head ass bitch that you presiding over. Most of you niggas only checking $500 or $600 a day by the grace of God. Man, if you don't sit up there and hurry up and pick up a camera and do something and take advantage, you know, this era that we in, man, shit. Now, as far as I use my brother, I use Freeze as an example. When you look at Freeze videos, he's inspiring you to do something. He's teaching you, you know, discipline. It's not, see, when you look at, if you pay attention to my platform and his platform, you will see that most of the content from ancient times to recent times, they're messages. Every now and then, of course, I speak on trending topics and things like that because I'm endeavoring to reach squares. I'm endeavoring to have that square bitch that's pretty much web surfing and looking for the next entertaining or enlightening thing that's on YouTube. So that's why I speak on a trending topic that I really don't even give a fuck to speak about. But I know that if I speak on this, that it's a chance that some fine, attractive ass square, you know what I mean, to see this and be like, what if I stumbled onto? Exactly. Now, as far as Freeze, when you look at his content, he ain't never taught you how to, yeah, okay, now, pimp one-on-one. This is how you break the bitch. Okay, now see my bitch right here? Like, he don't have that dumbass shit. you never see Freeze breaking a bitch on camera. You never see, okay, now I'm getting ready to drive. As you see, I'm currently on Indian school. I just got a call from one of my pimp partners. For those of you that don't understand what that is, a pimp partner is, he's not doing that. You know what I mean? Now, this bitch just got on my nerves. As right now, I'm getting ready to cut her head. For you squares that don't know what that is, in simplicity, I'm getting ready to whoop her ass. Okay, so now you're getting ready to see me whoop my hoe's ass, and I'm about to properly show you how to give a hoe an ass whooping without putting marks and bruises on her. So when the police come, they don't see any evidence, of this ass. Now, follow me. I'm actually exactly 600 seconds away from my residence. She's currently there right now. She just went in my place, and she just thinks everything is all gravy. As soon as I come in the house, I'm getting ready to become a hairstylist and change her hairstyle. And for those of you that don't know what that means, again, I'm getting ready to whoop her ass. You don't see that type of content. Again, it's only content that would actually make a man a better man, regardless of what lifestyle that he lives. It just so happens he's in the lifestyle of pimping and hoeing, and he's giving encouragement and enlightenment for those that's on the pavement, you know. But as far as, actually, being an endangerment to the game or making the game, look bad with the things that he's saying, or no. If anything, I think Freeze has kept people out of jail, because you have so many individuals. I know of the testimonies that I've got, and I know some of the testimonies that Freeze got. So many people, oh, Freeze, man, man, I used to smoke, man. I used to be an alcoholic, man. I was getting ready to actually kill, my girlfriend after she cheated on me. I was about to kill her and the dude, but I seen one of your videos, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. My life worth more than that. So, if anything, his platform has kept people out of jail. It has not put anybody in jail. You have not seen any Freeze videos or Sinful to P videos being used in a courtroom to help incriminate anybody. I don't mean to toot horns around here, but that's the way that you do it. And I want to thank certain individuals because I had them as proverbs on what not to do. I've seen different people in the game fuck with the youth in a way where they were putting the youth on their platforms. And I seen how that went. And so I said I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to fuck with them. I'm going to, give them game, give them words of exhortation. But as far as give them a platform to help them get inside of incarceration, I don't want nothing to do with that. So that's why you don't have me with young P's like, yeah, we're here right now. We break the bitch to P. You know what I mean? How you feeling today, P? Yeah, man, I just broke the bitch. I'm getting ready to break another bitch. That's why you don't see that shit on my shit. I have tons of young P's, that's in my DM every single day. If it's not about consultation, it's either basically trying to get on the platform. And I have to tell them that's not that type of platform. So if anything, using my brother as an example, that's the blueprint on how to create a platform that promotes the game and does not get anyone locked up. Now, going back to a statement that you said, I've been saying that for years. I said, man, I'm powerful enough to actually start a nation of people And you guys can have the pimp name. You can have, pimp this, pimp that, pimp this, and pimp like the way that you guys talk and conduct yourself. I'm about to just change all of that, the title, everything, because they know them. The adversary know our whole subculture. They just know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting ready to change everything, from the new lingo, a new title, all of that. We only interested in doing what's vital to the title. You guys can
Mm-hmm.
have the title,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I still have that mind frame, and I want to say some things, but no, I ain't gonna say it here on social media. These things, certain things, are only supposed to be said in a circle physically. But I just say that, yeah, it's been that time. They've been studying us for a while. They've been watching us for a while. Now these other little platforms, not gonna say no names, but yes, they did help a lot of guys get in jail and prison. But on the flip side, you would only know these individuals because of those platforms. So yeah, some people did do some time, but some people was able to capitalize off of that, and they're still living off that still to this day. So it just depends on, again, like I told you with the Mackin. Man, it just depends on what representative you ask, because each representative got a different perspective. And so, you'll see individuals, oh man, I think it's terrible. I think it's fucked up. That's because he's not reaping the benefits. Now, if he was to reap the benefits of this social media era, his whole mind would change. But because he don't know how to operate in this era, of course he gonna say that, because he ain't reaping the benefits of it. You know what I mean? If I told, like, for example, this is why I told you I wanted them to follow you. You know what I mean, on YouTube, because I wanted you to get to other platforms where you could take your content and tell them, hey guys, if you want to see this, if you want to see that, you're going to have to come over here. You're going to have to come to my OnlyFans, or you're going to have to come to Patreon. You're going to have to come to this and this and that and that. Like for my birthday month, man, that was my biggest legal month that I've ever had in my life. With the combination of consultation, with Patreon, with YouTube, and with everybody showing love, oh my God. And like I said, everything that I'm doing, you could do that and more. They just gonna have to come on one accord, definitely to support you.
Right.
Like I said, like I'm in a position now, where if every student blew up right now, I can still take care of my necessities and desires, simply because of the money that I'm making legally. I'm making money legally just being who I am. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it just depends on who you ask. Of course, with me, no, I don't think that it's done more harm. I think that in this day and era, in this day and age, you have young people who are living in a time where one mistake can cost you your life for the rest of your life. So you're going to need a Freeze. You're going to need an Andre Taylor. You're going to need somebody, going live telling you their history. You're going to need somebody telling you the F's on their report card to prevent you from having that same F. So if anything, I'm just using my brother as an example. If anything, his platform has been a blessing. Nobody has went to jail. Nobody has went to the graveyard because they was listening to Freeze. If anything, they've been healthy, and they stopped living an unhealthy life that would have led to the graveyard, because of Freeze. The things that he said, has hindered them from being in somebody's correctional facility. If anything, he is given a lot of clarity pertaining to life and the lifestyle. I didn't have a Freeze is it or Andre Taylor YouTube channel to go to in 2007. I ain't had that. I didn't have nobody to sit up. Oh, let me. Oh, Freeze live. Let me see this. Oh, they going live on Perspective? Let me soak up some game. I ain't had that shit. And a lot of the P's before me, they didn't have that shit. You know what I mean? So it really truly is a blessing, because every now and then you will see veteran pimps with jewelry coming out their mouth, and you'll be a fool not to have a listening ear. So, you know, that it has really been a blessing. I can think of one time where, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you was in the group at that time when we was in, you know what I mean, PT. And one of the young P's had got into it with his father on Fed. And his father put him out the car on Fed. And it had to be like 3 or 4 in the morning. And you just let your son out on Fed. You know what I mean? So now he walking up and down the street, but because he posted, you know what I mean, in the group, man, I just got into it. Woo, woo, woo. Man, the pimping was like, man, stay right there, P. I'm pulling up. And he was out of there. So I didn't think, man, if I just sat down, I could think of so many testimonies of how the pimping has been a blessing to the pimping through social media. So, yeah, I didn't actually seen the pimping come together and be a blessing to the pimping, you know what I mean, that needed this or needed that. So, yeah, like I said, it depends on who you ask. And from my perspective, I say that, you know, it has caused a lot of harm, because everybody shouldn't have been blessed with the opportunity and liberty to be on this internet. Everybody should not have been able to speak on the behalf of the game at all. But, you know, you do have those, and you do have, you know, a few exceptions to the thing, you know what I mean? And yeah, people like Freeze, yeah, been a blessing to this game for sure. And again, let me say this before I let you, you know, that wasn't to beat up on my little brother, you know what I mean, Juan, because, you know, he did his thing. I just didn't want him to, you know, like I said, he a grown ass man. He gonna do what he want to do. But yeah, I don't really care even for that platform. You know, somebody like, but he from Chicago. Hey, it's a lot of guys that don't mean us no good from Chicago. So, you know, but yeah, I would say that it has been a blessing, and it has also been, of course, detrimental, man. So it's been a blessing on one side, then the other side, man, it's been a cursing, man. It's been some cold fuckery. So like the brother said in the comment section, I would have to agree with that. It's been a two-edged sword.
Yeah, I just
Okay,
wanted to touch on something, on a comment that I seen right after I was done talking, and Sin began talking, because you know I had mentioned R. Kelly earlier, and I was saying that he's locked up because he made himself vulnerable to the wrong
Oh
people.
yeah, cut that up.
Somebody said that he's locked up because he's sick, and that's false. You know what I mean? Because being sick ain't illegal, and you know, a lot of people might agree that he's sick, but you know, you have a lot of individuals that are sicker than him, that are also more powerful than him, richer than him, and of course whiter than him. And they not locked up right now, and they ain't gonna probably never ever get locked up. You know what I mean? Because they're smart enough to understand, especially in today's times, that it's imperative to not make yourself vulnerable to the wrong people. Yeah, so
Facts.
you know, it's not a matter of legality or morality. Man, it's just it's
Yeah,
simple. Like Denzel said, the
individuals.
training day, huh?
It's some individuals in the music industry that have done far more worse than him. He's not even in the running. What Kels was
Man,
doing in the 90s, you know what I mean, damn near everybody, you know what I mean, in the genre of R&B was doing. It's just that, of course, he had more accessibility because of who he was, you know what I mean, and who he still is. So, of course, um, you know, they was on him more because he had more spotlight. But I'll give you a perfect example. Even before R. Kelly, there was Aaron Hall, the lead singer of God. And
Man,
Aaron Hall, mother, Gloria, what is it, Gloria Velez?
right,
Is it
right.
Gloria? Yeah,
Yeah, you
the
got it
same
right,
one that you
Gloria
see in the
Velez.
Pimp, when Pimp C is dancing by the car in the Big Pimpin' video, the little broad that's dancing with him. Yeah, that's Aaron Hall's baby mother. When he got her pregnant, she was every bit of 16 years old. I want to say Aaron was like maybe 26, 27, 28, might even been older than that, you know. And this is back in the day. It's so many things that I could say pertaining to others who were doing the same thing, but these individuals, of course, was moving a lot. They or some just a little bit smarter than Rob, so of course they're not in the position that he's in. But no, in the industry, that was actually, the thing. That wasn't like when you go to a concert, you got all these brides screaming your name, and you just look into the audience. Oh man, I can fuck the whole audience if I wanted to. That's the feeling that come over them rappers and singers. And so after the show, a lot of those guys was moving. They wasn't responsible. They wasn't moving with game. They were moving with the lust of their flesh. And that's why, certain people ended up in certain circumstances because they just never evolved. They went to their second childhood to their third childhood. Now, Rob is a proverb, of that. But no, he wasn't the only one or even the greatest one. I don't even want to get started on African Bambaataa, one of the pioneers of hip hop. I can show you in each genre of music, you have individuals that have dealings in abominations. So if you can't, man, I'll be all day with that. So eternity, not enough time, to say that. But like I said, if you're gonna be against something, don't just be against one, be against all.
Right.
Just shut music off, shut entertainment, shut it all off. Because 9 out of 10, your teacher, your preacher, your singer, your motivational speaker, whatever position that they may have, none is without sin. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. None is good, not one. None is good but the Father. So
And with
all
that,
go ahead.
and we know, and even with that, and we know it rains on the just and unjust alike. You know, now, now let me ask y'all
Mm-hmm.
this. Okay, now, okay, so with the internet, okay, now I just thought about this. Okay, well, so give us an example of how we can get caught up right now. Just as simple as say, you know, there's a bitch in the box, and somebody come up and, hey, bitch, choose us.
Ho, ho,
Just
ho,
that.
ho,
Go ahead, go ahead.
ho. Let me slide this in.
Okay.
Some people shouldn't say certain things because, in all honesty, um, because of this era, social media gave a lot of clarity. Do you not understand that there were certain women that were with clowns, a lot of male actresses that was teaching them, giving them destructions, not instructions, but destructions. And some of them stumbled across certain videos, or maybe they seen a live perspective, or maybe even somebody was live on dinosaurs. Maybe they seen certain peas talking, and when they began to listen, they said, "Ooh, my man don't pop it like that," or "Ooh, what is this?" Or "Wow, I never thought of it like that. Wow, that makes sense. I've been wrong all along." Exactly. So, like I said, if we're gonna speak on the bad, you have to also speak on the good. I'm not denying that it has been, yeah, it's a lot of abominable things have came from this internet. But we gotta also keep it real. Like, okay, name another era before this era. Like, for example, people laugh when I say this, but when you no longer have a hoe, you can still get dough off the hoe and you ain't even presiding over her no more. But because of the pictures, because of the videos that you show either on your IG or whatever you showing it on, a new bitches or anything like a square might look at that, and that square bitch might be like, wow, I want to go on a boat ride. I never been there. Or wow, damn, he had a jazz concert with 6 women. Wow, you know, and she'd be intrigued off that. You end up knocking new bras off that. Or a motherfucker could be on Patreon or, on OnlyFans, and posting the times, when he had this family or presiding over this family in the game and still making money, still checking money. He don't even no longer have that hoe. But just like a record label, when a rapper blows up or a singer blows up and they leave that label, 9 out of 10, that label still owns the masters to that music. So even when you're gone, or even when you go on drugs, or you upset at the label, guess what? The label is still making money off that artist because they still have the masters to everything. And it's just like that in today's era with, in the game. It can be like that for you if you're moving like that, but, hey, it is what it is. Do what you do. But, I remember one time Shark Game, had this one bride. Then, when she blew up, but he still had a lot of videos. Now, of course, I don't get down with the porn thing or no, there's just certain things sin ain't into. But what I can say is when he no longer had the bitch, he was still making money off of the bitch simply because of all the footage, all the things that he had. I don't know another era, like this era where you could just go on OnlyFans, you could go on Patreon, and you could post old pictures and videos of when you did this and that and that and this, and them squares is like, wow. Wow. And, like I said, it's benefits, in this era, man. You know what I mean? So, like I said, take advantage. Take advantage. Yeah, we lost a lot. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on, but man, I just say this without saying too much, man. The game is still beautiful. Yeah, the game is still beautiful. Don't get it fucked up. Niggas, the game is still beautiful. I've seen people come on here depressed and sounding like a Mary J. Blige, My Life CD and all of that shit. You know what I mean? That ain't my testimony, man. The game is still beautiful. Yeah, but go ahead, show. My bad. I just had to sit up there throw that in.
No, that's all good. Okay, now look, this is what I'm gonna ask. Could it be just as simple as being on an IG live and people watching and they hear you say, "Yeah, bitch, choose up with some pimping"? Is that enough right there to get somebody for pandering?
You took the words right out of my mouth because
A guy.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead, P.
No,
That
I
wasn't me.
was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say you
preach.
took the words right out of my mouth because right before Sid started speaking, when you was first asking the question, that's the first thought that came to my mind. That's pandering. So yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? I believe motherfuckers done been locked up for less. So yeah, just because when you tell a bitch on a live to choose up, in the eyes of the law, basically you pandering her to do something, to partake in something criminal, so yeah, even though you might not see it that way, but yeah.
Well, I say that pandering, enticing, encouraging a woman to prostitute or continue in prostitution. Now, if a guy goes live and he talks about being the greatest pimp or whatever he wants to talk about pertaining to the lifestyle, it's just a nigga talking. But if he's talking to a bitch, whether in the DM or whether he's talking to her on live or what have you, man, they can do whatever they want with that. Then people do whatever they want to do. But if it's just him just talking, It's just another nigga talking. They need a bitch. They need him to be talking to a bitch. And without him just talking to a bitch, they don't have anything. Like, think about it. When have you seen, again, using my brother, when have you seen these break on a bitch on a live or in a video? Or for that matter, even tell a woman, you know what I mean, I want you to be my hoe. You need to be hoeing. Like, no. They need a bitch, man. Until they have a
Hey, and
bitch, you know,
see this comment
a
right
nigga
here.
just talking. Go ahead.
Nah, cause you know this
Go
this
ahead.
this is what I dislike, man. You know, people giving misinformation on the internet, I guess for the sake of sounding smart before people, but saying it's deaf enough to lock you up, but not enough to convict you. That's false, because that individual that you might be telling to choose up might be a decoy, and we all
Mm-hmm.
know motherfuckers who are currently on a yard right now because they said something as simple as that to a decoy. So that is enough. It's more than enough, depending on the circumstance, you know?
Right. You know, but once again, you know, if you just talking, like let's say if me and Shove just went live every day and we talked about or any of you guys, if I went live with you and we just talked about pimping this, pimping that, pimping this, pimping that, until I talk or you talk to a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's just two niggas talking. There's a whole lot of talking. You know, they might look and like, okay, what is it, man? Wow, okay, look what he said. But until a bitch get involved, it can't evolve
Right.
into what they want it to be. A bitch still has to be included.
Yeah, prime example of that is you know, it was an investigation called Operation Players Ball that was launched off of a Facebook post. I want to say in 2016. I ain't gonna say the individual who made the post, but when he made the post on Facebook, you know, he was telling the ladies that he was friends with on there, like, yeah, you know, you might not like me, but you know, I got a whole bunch of friends that you might be interested in choosing up with. And he tagged like 70 something or close to 80 different guys that he was friends with. I was one of them, and it was a whole bunch of other cats that he tagged, right? So of course, you know, because like Sin said, he wasn't talking to any particular female. He just was speaking in general, like, yeah, you know, if you don't want to fuck with me, you can fuck with these guys, whoopty whoop. There was no particular individual who they could call a quote unquote victim. So that right there wasn't enough. But what it did is it made them people launch Operation Players Ball. So what they start doing
Mm-hmm.
was sicking decoys on different individuals. And one of my partners, who I ain't gonna say his name, uh, he ended up going down off the shit. But he was one of very few who didn't do what most of the guys who went down off of that shit did. And what he did, he actually pulled up on the decoy in person on some like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you over there, I'm gonna pull up on you. And then he pulled up over there and it was a trap for him, you know what I mean? Now, most of the other guys who got caught up off that same operation, they bought a plane ticket for the decoy. You know what I mean? On some like, yeah, I'm over here in this city, whoopty whoopty whoop. Uh, I'm gonna fly you over here, and they actually paid for the plane ticket. So when P got out and he was telling me about this shit, he was like, yeah, P, you probably didn't get caught up because you didn't do what everybody else did. You know what I mean? He was like, you didn't buy no bitch no tickets. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, you know, if it be for that, you know,
Right.
Pimp ain't never gonna get locked up. I ain't never buying no bitch, no real bitch, no fake bitch. You know what I mean? Pimp ain't buying no ticket for
Hey,
nobody.
hey,
You know what I mean? So
hey. Do
so
you
that's
see
that's
how?
that's an
Do you
example of
see
when the
how
game saved me.
standards? You see how the standards of the game will protect you. You know, that ain't nothing but the standards, you know what I mean, of the game. Simply just being protected, man. You know what I mean? And he's right by that. You know, but in that case, shit, nigga ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, and then I give you another example. I had a P partner that he didn't know that this bitch was a snitch. I'm talking about this bitch got a reputation on talking, telling them people on different representation all across the nation, man. You know what I mean? That's just, she got a rep for it. But because my P partner is a pimp and played the game according to the rules, you know, when he was talking to the bride, even though he was ignorant of her being a snitch, but by him charging a choosing fee, and his fee was just a small fee, you know what I mean, of 20,000. And the bride just thought that the 20,000 was just the world, like it was just, you know, $1 billion or something like that. You know what I mean? She treated it like it was innumerable. And so, you know, she ended up, you know, stopped calling him because, you know, his standard, his prerequisite was a little too big for her. And that's good because at the time he was ignorant of who she was in the game as far as her being a snitch. So it was his standard that actually protected. First of all, most of you ain't even charging no damn choosing fee in the gate. If a bitch, don't let her be fine like this, bro. If she's attractive or she's some snow, you know what I mean, she a blonde, you niggas going. You know what I mean? The bitch could have $500 by the grace of God, you niggas going. You know, the bitch, matter of fact, might not even have no money. You niggas will sit up there and spend some money to get the bitch to you. You know what I mean? Get a blonde or a chop to you. That's just how goofy you is. But his standards protected him from being incarcerated and fucked up. Standards are here to protect you. Standards can never go wrong, man. You know what I mean? With standards. So yeah. Let me
Yeah,
see.
and
Hold
again
on.
to Zai, I forget his name. I don't see him, but yeah, you know that's your particular instance, but that's not a rule of thumb that everybody should go by. You shouldn't be going around pandering in the blind. You know what I mean? And just because in your case it didn't go further, that doesn't mean that it's something that you know people should rest assured is cool to do. You know, it's like I said, we all know people who did that and they gone right now. And that's all they did was that, and they gone right now. So, you know, and we know people that got off of that and that's all they did. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is that you can get booked and sentenced to some prison time based on that. So yeah. It is
Yeah.
misinformation. If you say
Yeah.
that it, you know, if you say, oh, I did this and it wasn't enough in my situation, that's different. But you said, if you do such and such, that's not enough. So you were speaking in general as though a young Pete is listening and watching could be like, oh, so I could just, you know, talk to, you know, different bras and say, choose up and it's cool. I can't get in trouble for that. That's basically what you were saying. And that's false.
Mm. Well, once again, I just want to throw this in too, man. You know, you could always